Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video of the Roshake Reaction, and today I've got another episode of Shoutout Sunday for you guys, a series that I started on my channel to help some of the smaller YouTubers out there to grow their channels and to give back to the awesome community of supporters that I have just a little bit. As usual, however, before getting into the shoutouts, I'd like to give a quick little update on my channel. I recently released a top 10 worst Pokemon of all time video, which I actually put quite a bit of work into, and obviously, as always, there's no obligation to check it out, nor is it required to get a shoutout, but if you get some free time, I would really appreciate any sort of feedback on that video. Okay, and with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the good stuff here. To begin with, I want to just go ahead and reiterate the requirements for getting a shoutout on this series, and just to clarify here, it's not enough to just satisfy these requirements. I will choose those who best satisfy them as the winners each week, and the 4 criteria are as follows. 1. You need to have a consistent and regular uploading schedule within reason. 2. You have got to be a hard worker, which I will judge by looking at the effort and little details that you put into your videos. 3. You need to be dedicated to your community, reply to comments, and care for your viewers and your supporters. 4th, and this is the most important, you need to stay active on my Shoutouts on this series and check out the YouTubers that I shout out to each week. Alright folks, so with that, I think it's about time to get into the shoutouts here. And first up on the shoutout list is a YouTuber by the name of Goatee Fatigue, which by the way, I apologize if I'm butchering that. For whatever reason, I just cannot get myself to say it correctly the way he says it. But anyways, the first thing you guys need to know about Goatee is that he uploads an insane amount of content. His schedule is pretty much 2 uploads per day, which besides being absolutely ridiculous, just shows how much of a hard worker the dude really is. I already struggle with uploading every day, and as such, I can't imagine how difficult it is to stick to an uploading schedule as crazy as the one he's got. With regards to the specific content on his channel, Goatee uploads quite a bit of Dark Souls 2, which is probably my favorite LP of his right now, but he's also done some Hearthstone, Skyrim, and other pretty awesome games in the past. Thus, Goatee Fatigue is an awesome YouTuber, and as such, I highly recommend checking his channel out. Next up on the shout list is a YouTuber known as VenomStar, who's yet another guy who has an incredibly consistent uploading schedule and works really hard both on the quality and the quantity of his content. He pretty much uploads daily, and a lot of his videos are actually quite long, which is something that I know takes a lot out of you from experience. Now, as for the content on VenomStar's channel, he focuses mostly on Pokemon, but in my opinion, the stuff he does is incredibly unique compared to the other PokeTubers out there. For instance, he's currently doing a Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver Bro-Op, which is basically a collab LP with his brother, in which he's teaching his brother how to play Pokemon. So guys, VenomStar has got an awesome channel, and as such, I definitely recommend giving it a look. The third person I want to shout out to on this episode of Shoutout Sunday is a YouTuber by the name of Crimson Revenant. And if there's one thing that really stood out to me about Crimson when looking at his channel for a shout, it's that he cares about the quality of his content to the fullest extent, and he works really hard on his videos. This guy's work ethic is quite frankly amazing, and has really impressed me each and every time I sit down to watch his stuff. Now, as for the specific content on his channel, my favorite series of his has got to be his Borderlands 2 LP, which is a game that I'm not too familiar with, but nevertheless has been a super fun LP to watch. He also does some Metal Gear Solid, as well as some other awesome games, and actually has a good amount of variety on his channel overall. As such, Crimson Revenant is an awesome YouTuber, and I highly recommend checking his channel out. The fourth person I want to give a shout out to on this episode of Shoutout Sunday is the Gaming Castle, who's one of those few YouTubers that truly fulfills all of their criteria for this contest in the fullest, which is not to say that these criteria are the end all be all, but of course what it does mean is that this guy works really hard and truly cares for his community. With regards to this specific content on TGC's channel, he plays games like GTA, Until Dawn, and Metal Gear Solid, which apparently is becoming a theme on this episode and sort of actually makes me want to try that game out. But anyways, the point is that this guy is really good at what he does, and as such, I highly recommend giving his channel a look. The fifth and final person on the shout list for this week is a YouTuber by the name of Kryptonite Crow, and if there's one thing you guys need to know about Crow, it's that he is an incredibly talented commentator and orator. It's very clear that the dude puts a ton of work into making his commentary really good, and in my opinion, this truly embodies his hardworking nature and how much he cares about his success on YouTube. Now, as for specific content, Crow mostly does games like Call of Duty and Minecraft, but even if those don't appeal to you, I still recommend checking him out since a lot of the commentaries he does are really unique and about very interesting subjects. So guys, Kryptonite Crow is an awesome YouTuber, and as such, I definitely recommend checking his channel out. Alright folks, and that is pretty much going to do it for this episode of Shoutout Sunday. As always, if you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like down below and subscribe for more Shoutout Sunday videos in the future. Also, be sure to check out the YouTubers that I shouted out in this episode if you would like to be considered for a shoutout next week. I cannot stress how important this is in determining who wins these shoutouts each week. Additionally, while subscriptions are not required, they're still highly encouraged, and you should most definitely subscribe to channels that you like because it's a good networking opportunity and allows you to keep up with their content more easily. But anyways, I think that's enough for this episode, so thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.